Felix here, and welcome to this echoey live stream pre-market. I'm dressed appropriately for what's about to come. No, seriously, I want to walk you through the real reasons I'm bullish and what I'm bullish on, and take a little bit of the FUD and the fear out of the story, because I think that's going to be very helpful. And this is all information from the big investment banks that they put out every single day. They didn't put it out to you because you're not their client. They put it out to their institutional traders and so on. And Winston luckily has a direct line to the info source. So that's what we're going to do. You are super welcome to ask questions. That's why we do this live every day. Only after you've destroyed the like button, obviously. You wouldn't want to do it any other time, right? And let's get started, right? So I'm going to share my screen with you. Here we go. And this is the chart that's kind of freaking people out. You might be going, I haven't seen this chart. I'm not freaked out yet. Well, give it a few minutes. I'll get you there. So basically what it's saying, if I can get a color, is that that's 2024. So that orange zigzaggy design line there is 2024. And over the last, I don't know, 100 years or so, the market goes up in between this sort of zone, right? So it goes up or down over the year. We've had a very, 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 very good year so far. So we're really at the top end of top years. It's a spectacular year. We had a spectacular year last year too, but this one really is going for it. And therefore people are saying, well, it must, it must go down, right? Because it can't be this good forever. Well, let me walk you through why that is quite possibly complete nonsense. Valuations, right? If you're a long-term investor, and I'm both. I'm a long-term investor. I'm a trader. I bought one stock today a lot. I normally am a bit more generous on Mondays, but today I wasn't. I'll tell you what that is in a moment as well. And the forward PE is sort of, if you're going to look at PE, don't. If you're going to look at forward PE, it gives you a little bit more indication. And why is that? Because we're looking at what are next year's profits going to be like compared to today's share price. And that's a little bit more accurately how Wall Street actually values stocks. And right now, the Magnificent Seven are valued at 30 times profits, which is not cheap. I mean, if you think about that, that's about a 3.3% yield if you thought they'd stop growing. Now, if you believe they're going to stop growing, then that's actually still quite good. And we were higher, right? In 2020, in 2021, in 2022, we were higher. So we could go higher, right? And the S&P without the Mag 7 is only trading at 19x, which is, sort of not that exciting. A little bit over where we were previously, but, not massively expensive. Oh, yes. If you want to learn how to spot those big, beautiful, shiny breakout stocks before they happen, Wall Street also has an answer for that. There are a couple of rules you need to know. And those rules have been around since the 70s in one way or another. I've tweaked them, adapted them somewhat to fit what happens today in the market. And you can learn it completely for free. And you can just join and watch the masterclass. You can do it right now. You can say, this live stream sucks. I'm going to go learn something in the masterclass. I'd be very happy if you did that. You would, of course, miss out on all the, the fun here. But there we go. If you want to learn that with me live, also today at 8 p.m. New York time, I'm running a free beginner bootcamp. And I'll teach you those very rules. It'll be live. I'll walk you through it. We look at some real charts. We look at some real trades and everything else. So if you can join me at 8 p.m. New York time, join me, felixprehn.com/bootcamp. If you can't, watch the master class. Now, the next thing I always look at to get a little bit of a feel for where is the market going is positioning. Has everybody already bought all the stocks? In which case, who's left to buy? And therefore, we can't go much higher. So right now we are here. And is that super high? Well, it's not super low. I think that's clear. But again, we were higher in 2019, 20, 21, 2023, 2013, 2011. So we could go higher. And this is tech we're talking about, right? There is a little thing happening in tech right now called AI, which I think is going to make a lot of people a lot of money, especially those big tech companies. And look at this. This is probably the only useful thing that CNN has put out in the last 2 decades. It is the Fear and Greed Index. And where are we? Yes, we're like sort of agnostics. We're neutral. So we're neither excited, we're neither fearful, we're just boring, right down the middle, neutral, right? Which is basically what 700 of you are, who just decided not to hit the like button, and that's your prerogative. It's your choice. It is a free country. Well, sort of. Now, what about this? Stocks are now up for 20% plus for 2 years in a row. 40% plus rally over 2 years. That seems like extraordinary, right? That means it can't last. What must, goes up must come down, sort of thing. Well, not true. The 4 previous times where the stock market went up 20% plus for 2 years running since World War II. What happened the next year? We went up 2.6%, 31%, 26%, and 90%. So it's a pretty good chance that after 2 glorious years, you get a third glorious year. So you could be cautious, but stocks going up is rarely a reason to be cautious. So let me see what happens happening in the chat here. Hello there to London. Paul is in Russia. I don't get spooked by a missile that hit, something, a cowshed or something. Just a load of nonsense and noise out there, really. This is Morgan Stanley. I'd pay a little bit more attention to Morgan Stanley than to Russian missiles, actually American missiles hitting something in Russia, allegedly. They are saying the S&P is going to hit 6,500 by the end of 2025. That's 9% from where we are right now. And why? Deregulation, lower taxes. That's it, really. Trump, basically. That's what they're saying. Trump. Yeah. So that's pretty good, right? Excuse me. Slightly. Apologies, slightly itchy throat today. That might curtail the length of this live stream. Yeah. Quite seriously. Okay. I should probably go see somebody about that, shouldn't I? Well, actually, I want one of you to come and see me. I posted this today on the community post, and I shall try to speak a little bit more quietly to save the vocal cords. We're hiring for our TradeVision team, which is the app that we built, which is insanely useful. And we're looking for someone to run our social media, especially Twitter, but X, I should say, but also Instagram, TikTok, and so on. So if you love financial news and you love charts and stocks and the whole thing, literally just send me an email. I'd love to see your existing social account. That's really what I'd love to see. You don't actually necessarily have to be a super expert at this, but I'd love to see you having some passion on the subject. Oh God, here comes the Russian nonsense. Don't get distracted by that stuff. There's one thing you can look at if you are distracted by any news like that. Open the VIX. That's the fear index, and it's at 17, which basically says go back to sleep. Forget about the whole Russia nonsense. It's complete nonsense. The war's going to stop when Trump gets in. The whole thing was only fought to make U.S. arms manufacturers a lot of money, ready? So that's going to stop. They're going to get their money in another way. So I really wouldn't be too concerned about that. If you were in the Ukraine, obviously that's a different story. You have to be concerned about it, but most of us are not. So yeah, drop me a message if you need somebody. The Russians have poisoned Felix. Yes, exactly. Eat honey ginger tea. That is actually a very good idea. This is barely a live stream. I like that too, Ben. I think as the mug of warm water runs out, so will this live stream. But let me give you a quick view of where we are right now. It looks a little gloomy this morning. I wouldn't be too worried about it. It's a little bit of profit taking, a little bit of saber wrestling there from the Russians, and a bit of, well, what's going on here. Nvidia is green, pre-earnings, which is good. Walmart reported pretty decent numbers. Where was it? Here it is. People are spending a bit more. Yeah, upper income households are spending a bit more at Walmart, which, not necessarily the most wonderful thing in the world, but again, not a terrible thing to do. I'm Ukrainian. Trump isn't going to stop anything. Well, you'll see, my friend. The Ukrainians can't fight a war without American weapons. So they'll be at the table negotiating before you can say stop the war. And I know you're in the middle of it, and you get very different news from maybe some other things that we see. But wars are only ever done for profit. It's nothing to do with anything else. The Americans want control over your natural resources, and they now have an excuse, and they've managed to do that by indebting you forever to the US. It's a very smart move, but that's the way it works. So if you think that you're a friend and ally, well, this is exciting. We're going to get options trading on Bitcoin. Isn't that what we just needed? I think it is actually what we needed. I've been looking for a way to do that. And so the only people who were offering it so far were people through a Dubai entity owned by a Panama company, which I wasn't that keen to send money to. So this is going to be very exciting. From Thursday, it's Tuesday actually, we'll be able to trade options on a Bitcoin ETF called IPIT, which could be pretty cool. Can someone give me the email to apply, please, Samuel? Here it is, felix@goatacademy.org, my friend. I'll put it in the chat as well. felix@goatacademy.org. There we go. Love to have someone on the team who's just like gonna really enjoy making cool content and engaging people and sharing our indicators and knowledge and quality data and everything else, and just getting more people to financial freedom, which is ultimately what this is all about. What do we do on a day like this for Mr. Moose? I appreciate that. And you can obviously also share it if you know somebody who's good at this. Do please forward it. I'd appreciate that. Just take a screenshot and forward it, and we'll find someone amazing. And I thank you for it. So what do we do about something like Tesla today? Well, it looks pretty good, doesn't it? I mean, it keeps going one way and one the other, and I should become clean. I did buy a fair bit of Tesla stock today, actually. Why today? Well, I buy something every Monday. Usually I buy more than one things, and I just think the Tesla story. Did you see who's getting appointed as Transport Secretary in the US? Sean Duffy, I want to say. Very, very pro EVs, very, very pro self-driving. So I think the US is just gonna remove all the regulatory hurdles there for Tesla to shine and do something amazing. So slightly down, nothing to worry about that. It was a gap up yesterday actually, which is pretty impressive. This is another one that's quite impressive. Finance of America, FOA. I saw one of you posted that. Are you in on that trade? I hope so. Look at that yesterday, 27%. And why do I say that? Because I called this a buy at $9 and a bit. I think $9.25 is my entry, which is down here, which was the classic trigger for a breakout. And if you want to learn how to spot those breakouts, join the live bootcamp in literally 11 or 12 hours. Link is down below. And if you can't join that, then well, there's also a link in the description for a masterclass. So we are now up well over 100% on this, which is very sweet, right? Which is actually are we at 200% up now? I think so, right? I saw the Optimus thing also. Yes, very smart move by Tesla. I presume they're probably paying her by giving her access to I don't know, SpaceX stock or something like that. Excuse me. The stream is about to end me. Yeah, very, very smart. So, and you can just see what the playbook is there, right? Get those robots to be washing the dishes for the Kardashians, and then everyone's going to want one. Brilliant move. If they do the same thing with the robo-taxis, the fears will go out of the window, and scantily clad ladies will be stepping in and out of those taxis before you can say, Kim. So yeah, very clever move there. I need to go see a doctor. No, I think I'd be just fine. I'll call 911. Yes, good idea. Good idea. I think that's probably the appropriate calm response to a slightly itchy throat, right? So yeah, that's basically where we are at here today. So any questions, my friends? Pop them out there. I'll do a quick recap of where we are. which is, yes, we're having a glorious year. We're near the top of any year we've ever had. It's one of the best years in the stock market in history. But actually, stocks are not that expensive. If you look at it from a historic point of view, we were more expensive in 2020, 2021, 2022. Here. So, we're only right here right now. So since 2020, we were mostly more expensive than we are right now. So that's nothing to particularly worry about. I encourage you to watch the free masterclass to learn how to spot those big, beautiful breakouts like FOA up over 200% right now. And also positioning isn't that extreme. It's highish, but again, we've been a lot higher for many years. There's no greed. There's no fear. We're in neutral land, which is definitely a good place to be. The same thing as 1,100 of you are who haven't found the like button. You are neutral. That's an okay place to be. And generally, when stocks go up for 20% or more for 2 years running, what happens the next year? Stocks go up some more. Right? So stuff's pretty good. And Wall Street is basically embracing the Donald trade by saying, Morgan Stanley saying they think the S&P will be at 6,500 by the end of next year, which is another 9% upside because of deregulation and lower taxes, basically, which is pretty good. So, are you buying any call options? I haven't of late, but I will look at it some more, especially if volatility is nice and low now after earnings season is basically behind us, Nvidia being the last one there. I also mentioned we're hiring a social media manager for TradeVision, which is our app that shows very, very cool stuff like support and resistance lines and institutional data and breakouts and all sorts of good stuff. So if you are that way inclined and you enjoy writing and posting about financial news and you have a sense of humor, that's important, and you like posting charts and that kind of stuff, then send me an email at felix@goatacademy.org and or if you know somebody who might be good at that. And literally you could be 16 years old, I don't really care. I just want somebody who would really enjoy doing this, because I only want to work with people who would really enjoy doing this, and I think it could be a really, really fun role. And so yeah, come in and drop me a message if that is you, or if you know somebody who's that. In other words, buying Tesla's not a bad idea. I mean, that would be my view. Obviously, everybody can have their own conclusions. Here is a dubious green line that must be very meaningful. And pre-market's looking a little on the dodgy side, but Nvidia is green, which is good. Walmart, decent numbers out there from them. And should we have a look at a couple of our favorite stocks here pre-market? Let's have a look at Palantir. How to avoid buying avoid IV crush and buying calls? Buy them when IV is low. IV percent, not IV. IV percent. You need to understand the difference. Very important. So Palantir here dropping a little. It's now basically making sweet love to the support line at $59 here, which is, we did that yesterday briefly as well, and then we bounced back up. So yesterday we literally had market makers buying Palantir at 59, and then we had them selling it at 65, which is an extraordinary range of trading for a stock in one day, to be honest with you. So volatility definitely coming back here to Palantir. But yeah, as long as we stay above 59, I'm all good. Tallulah wants to join. Hang on 1 second. That's a very, very noisy cat. It can't be ignored, right? Tallulah, what do you think of Palantir? Looks good, right? Still, yeah, a little bit of exhaustion there, but nothing to worry about at this point. IV rank, IV percent, is that the same? Nope. It's close. IV rank is okay. You can use it. IV percent is a little bit better, but you can use IV rank if that's the only data point you have. In TradeVision here, we show IV percent at the top because that's your best data point out there. Sofi, there she is. Sorry, there it is. So yeah, in the top of any TradeVision page, it'll always show you IV percent at the top there. So when it's high, don't buy options, sell options. When it's low, consider buying options. Sofi continues the sort of boring sideways pattern. And what's good about that? It just builds, like, it's consolidation. It's good. It's basically what we want. We're very happy to do that. The star of the show, indeed, Tallulah, he's a little frustrated. It's a little chilly here today. Cats don't like it cold, especially tropical ones here. It's like it is below 25 Celsius. That is against the law. At least it should be. Okay, you're gonna hang out there? Yeah? Okay. You can hang out there. What else shall we look at? Any ideas? PayPal? I was just thinking that. TM. Terry is a fan of the kittens. This one is very sweet. We're hoping to get 2 more kittens, by the way. I still need to get approved by the charity. They're slightly dubious about me so far, but I'm hoping to convince them otherwise in the coming days, so that there'll be a few more furry creatures around. PayPal is dropping today, $83. So it's actually, it looks like a gap down, to be honest with you. No real reason. They announced another partnership, which is decent, but nothing major there. So just a little bit of morning fretting. She's cuddling. Yeah, she's a real cuddler, this one. How does calculate trade IV? In the broker, you have IV, my friend Jan Hao. We show IV percent. That is today's IV compared to the IV of the last 365 days, which is a number that's actually useful. IV in itself is completely meaningless. Jules, a bit of clickbait. No clickbait, my friend. You're just late. Same for you, Clemens. It seems the sort of, what are you? The Europeans are showing up a little bit late and they're having a tantrum. I'm not surprised. Your economy is going down the tube. There we go. We've offended, half the world. Could you have an ad campaign with cats? We could certainly do that. Maybe you want to become our social media manager, and we can do it with cats. So yeah, PayPal dropping here somewhat today. Tesla is looking basically flattish. James, you want a broker you can sell after UK hours. If you're trading US listed stocks, you should be able to trade them. There is Tasty in the UK, there is Webull, there is Interactive Brokers, there are a bunch of brokers that'll do that for you. That all basically do the same thing. Tesla slightly down from yesterday, but nothing significant despite all the glorious news out there. Dan, you adopted 2 cats in no time. Oh, I've been to the shelter. They had about 40 cats in there. It is not a supply question. It's a question of do they approve us? And I think it's good that they really want to check you out. I've had to send pictures of all my windows and all that kind of stuff. They are very concerned that they might fall out of the window. And they generally want to sniff us out. And I think it's a good thing. Like, we fostered a lot of cats before, and we really sniff out the people we give them to. Audio output is a little bit less. My voice is a little strained today, so I'm trying not to be too noisy. That might be good. Will the video be posted live after it ends, John? Yes, we always do that. Nothing gets hidden or taken away or any of that. If you can hear meowing, that is my cat. Any stocks you want me to look at? INQ, yeah, we just had the run-up of all run-ups, and I think they have an event with Nvidia coming up. So today or tomorrow as well, which might, do some more. Uncle Roman, I love TradeVision, worth subscription, pays for itself. Uncle Roman, I love you already. Thank you very much. I'll take a screenshot and I'll share that with our, there we go, with our developers who are sitting in a dark basement somewhere and just get beaten furiously. Kidding, of course. So INQ here, a bit of profit taking there. It did drop yesterday all the way down to the support and then bounced back up. Looking decent-ish flat today. WRC Rush, I would call that spamming, my friends. So I'm going to use the power that I wield and put you into a timeout for 10 minutes, which seems petty. But somehow I'm feeling petty. PKS, I think you're in the same bracket there. So I'm also going to put you in a timeout for 30 minutes, just because I'm feeling a bit, like a despot this morning. What else have we got here? Is Hood. Yes, we can definitely have a look at Hood. which actually I think was flagged by our buy indicator, wasn't it, yesterday? Hang on, Hood. Oh, no, it was a few days ago. It was, so Lula is covering the screen at 29.86. It was the last buy signal that we triggered here, which was definitely a good call. And it looks to be breaking out through its resistance here. Now, that resistance is where the market makers sell, that red line here in TradeVision. And if you go on to, say, a 5-minute chart and you have a look at yesterday, and I haven't done this yet, but I suspect I know what's going to show. It'll show that during trading hours, so when the market was open, yeah, exactly. What happens when we break above the resistance line? Well, the market makers sell. You see volume spike up because it's institutional selling. And then again here towards the end of the day, we spike up, and what happens? Massive volume at the end of the day brings it back down to the resistance line, and then we can break out above it out of hours because the market makers are high on coke. I'm sorry, asleep and resting. So it'd be interesting to see whether when the market opens, the market makers are going to clobber Robinhood back down to $35 again, or whether it'll actually meaningfully break out. But yeah, this was, I guess, the beginning of that breakout. A bit of a dodgy breakout, but still a breakout nevertheless. Is your cat a pedigree? Good God, no. She is, of course. She's 100% street cat, which means, she's come from a long line of cats that lived on the street, probably came on a ship or something, 150 years ago. A very, very rare breed. You can never get another one quite like it. So, pedigree, a street cat pedigree. Free too. Jerry, you got TradeVision last year. Can't wait to feel the mobile version. Appreciate that. And we're working very, very, very hard on that. Hopefully coming out very shortly. So can you take a pick? Amazon bouncing off the 200. Well, it depends on how many super yachts Bezos is buying above $200. Let's have a look. At 199, yeah, resistance has actually moved up to 210. So no, I think the 200 is no longer that important. We did take it out significantly before. It was like where Bezos was last selling. Now, if you sell some more, that'll obviously have an impact, but I don't think in itself it's that important. I think the positioning has moved up to 210. Eileen says Archer has resistance at over $4. There's probably just very low volume on Archer, and therefore the resistance doesn't really make that much of a difference. I think that's really why. Jerry, yes, we did used to call it Options Watch, and then we sort of expanded a little more into just stocks generally. So we thought TradeVision was a bit better. I appreciate that kind comment, my friend. That's the intention. That's why we build it. Maybe you want to become our social media manager, Jerry. Let me know. Do you think Nike and Estee Lauder suffer from tax loss harvesting? There could be a little bit of that. I don't think it's the biggest thing. I think it's just a question, is the company performing? And at the moment, I'd say no for both. Is it true that free brokers sell our data to big firms? Yes. If you use Webull or Robinhood or any of those, yes, they do. Ding, 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 says Crash. So the market, I guess, is open. Shall we look at it, or shall we just close our eyes, pretend it isn't there, and think of something else? Let's have a look at Tesla here first. Tesla recovering. Is it a little bit? No, at 335. So we're definitely below yesterday's trading range. Let me open a minute chart here for a second. Can you see this cat? No, she's just, hang on. Can you see that? There. Resting her head on my hand. Don't move. So yeah, Tesla is starting to move up a little bit in the right direction. Nothing dramatic here. Nvidia, this is the other thing that really matters. Earnings, of course, coming up. Let's have a look at Nvidia. Oh, the suspense is killing me. Come on, give us the bloody data. There we go. So market opens here, and we're up a little bit, which is good. So I kind of feel like the pre-morning red was, we're a little bit higher. Nothing particularly to worry about. The whole nonsense about, Russian nukes and all of that, like just, I think Putin quite enjoys his power and his wealth. I don't think he's going to nuke anybody anytime soon. Volatility is below 17, which is the fear. It's actually dropped here this morning. I don't think there's anything to worry about. He says, as he's staring at screens while Wall Street's getting blown up. No kidding. Wearing a red coat today, foreshadowing. Yeah, could be. Christian wants to see more pictures of my cat. Is TradeVision not available for the UK? It is available in the UK. It's available in the UK, Europe, US, Canada, and anywhere with no sales tax. Because everywhere else with sales tax, we'd have to pay about $4,000. Costs us about $4,000 per country to file sales tax returns. What a waste of money that is, right? So I'm afraid if you're in a sort of small tin pot hut kind of country, at the moment it's not available because unless you have an address in one of the countries I just mentioned. Blackwell chip, untimely problem, or maybe very timely. I've got a video coming out on that today. Block. I was looking at that stock today, to be honest with you, because the chart's quite appealing. Pilar, happened with Colombia. I'm sorry. I know it sucks. It's just, if you are the only Colombian user, maybe there are one or two others, you basically cost us about 4,000 US a year, which just, it's not really, it doesn't really work. I mean, eventually, hopefully we get to a scale where this stuff doesn't matter anymore, but at the moment it still does. So we have to kind of preserve resources to serve the many, not the few. Singapore should be fine because you have no VAT, right? So that's good. Block here, you see that? Nice sort of breakout at here. I draw this sort of trend line up here. So I connected 1, 2, 3, 4 points. And then we break out on tons of volume, a little bit of a flag up here, and now we're shooting back up. So actually, yeah, it looks very bullish, And if you want to learn how to spot that, join the live bootcamp with me today in about 11 hours at felixfriends.org/bootcamp, or you can also, where is it? You can also watch, there's also a pre-recorded masterclass if you can't make that time. felixfriends.org/get-free, and you'll learn about half an hour how to spot, like literally what just happened here, how we went from 77 to 90, and how that was actually very predictable. I'm preaching TradeVision in Colombia, so maybe one day it'll make sense, Pilar. You are? Okay, brilliant. I love you for that, Pilar. Thank you very much. I can't encourage sort of workarounds, but I hear rumors that there might be workarounds. So that's really all I can say on the subject. If you have an address in the US, yeah, that should work. That should work, my friend. What time zone is your boot camp? It is New York time, 8 p.m. New York time, which is, there it is. There's a link down below as well in the description, felixfriends.org/bootcamp. So what have we got here? SMCI. There's literally a cat sleeping on my left wrist saying, "Don't you dare move." Bloom Energy, that had a nice little breakout, didn't it? Super microcomputer. If you really want to destroy some money, this is probably a good place to go. I mean, it is jumping up, but it's below the 50. The 50-day moving average is slowing down. Don't touch it until it's sort of back into the 50s or something. Just, you can't not file accounts on time. It's a no-no. It's a clear no-no. Let me see. What was the question? Would a VPN help? I don't think I should be able to answer that. Would be able to answer that question, I think. But you can do whatever you wish. Right, what else do we have out here? Mara. Yeah, it's funny how the miners are lagging the crypto coins themselves, right? It's kind of curious, really. So yeah, dumping quite a lot here after that breakout. So, a little bit of caution there. And we're back into that sort of sideways zone here. Now, before my voice gives out completely, I'm gonna wrap it up here and let Tallulah say the final words. Who says, enjoy the lovely day. Watch the masterclass down below, or even join us live in about 11 hours. Tallulah will share with you all of her favorite trades of today, which she will undoubtedly hunt out. And you will learn how to spot breakouts and therefore potentially make a heck of a lot more money, which is really what this is all about. So we thank you for tuning in, and I hope to see a lot of you in about 11 hours live for the bootcamp. And otherwise, I hope to see you tomorrow. All the best. Any final words?